Okay, so I need to talk about The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So why do I have to talk about this book? It is because um it has inspired. I mean, I feel such a thrill which I haven't felt coming from a book, from a novel, I guess. I don't know. I've read. It's very thrilling. It's very thrilling. I love it so much. And um, I haven't finished it yet. I am on page, I think, 400 of 500 and something. So I still have the last part, but I am already completely and absolutely fascinated by this book. And I'm not a person who loves novels for their plot. So it's not how it ends. It's not about how it ends or how, uh, like the development, the final development of the book. It's just about the characters. So it's about character development and the themes that are touched there. Um, it made me want to go and study the classics as well. It made me want to think about myself in my early 20s when I was so and even earlier when I was like a teenager in high school reading things that were out of my league, but I was completely in love and fascinated. um it also made me think about my youth, where I was very, unhinged in many ways in terms of alcohol and, things like that. And I mean, now I am 35 and I don't want to live like that anymore. I like my stability. And I think everything is a process, but it reminds me of this quote by Elizabeth Wurtzel, which I don't have it right now with me, but I will put it here maybe. But it is about how, how everything is about, like, all your mistakes and, I mean, not own, but like improve, like, like this self-development thing where you have to be a better person. And I don't want to be, I don't want to say that that's not a good thing. You want to improve yourself, right? But there is another fucking part where you just have to fucking enjoy things for what they are. And especially when you're dealing with the past, you know um and in the present as well, right? Like, I am now, for example, trying to eat better and be more like healthier, but I definitely need my Dionysian nights. Does that mean that I'm gonna go, like, you know end up, in a ditch somewhere close to OD? No, but that feeling that maybe I am lucky, that feeling of, um, and it reminds me of Nietzsche as well, uh, of reading, Zarathustra and the Antichrist, and um, yeah, because it's about pleasure and those parts of Christianity that perhaps, I don't know why, but I have to talk about also the fact that I'm so happy about Jordan Peterson now being, like, scorned by the conservatives, because he appeared in a Jubilee that I couldn't bring myself to watch, because I mean that why am I talking about that now? I don't know, but that old debate about whether God exists, it's for me it's old, because I wrestle with that question for because it's very interesting, but I don't think a bunch of, yeah, I'm not in that mindset right now to think about it. That's why I didn't watch it. But what I did watch is a lot of reaction from the conservatives, because he was not willing to say that he believes in God. And I love that, because for the longest time, I mean, yeah, Jordan Peterson um, did make me think about the metaphorical analysis of the Bible and, Christianity in general, to be much more powerful than what I gave credit for, because I'm naturally not inclined to be religious or that spiritual in that sense. So it made me think a lot. I read a lot about mythology and Christianity and values, and everything is so connected, like Western values and what does that mean, and that led me to philosophy and to everything, right? So I really appreciate his work, but my question for forever to him was like, yes, I understand what you mean, but I don't think that, like, that mean old lady that goes to church once a week and has all the rosaries and everything, but then behaves like a fucking cunt all the time, really understands Christianity the way you do. And it's a question about normal human beings, and I mean normal in the sense of average. Maybe average human beings that are not philosophical. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know, but the reaction from the conservatives, like, because he was not like on board of saying that God exists. I love that, because Jordan Peterson says, I don't think you understand what you're asking. I don't think people understand what they say when they say that God exists, really. It's such a, I don't know, everything is so intertwined. I don't know how I ended up talking about this. Well, but my appreciation of the humanities, he used that. I mean, he was a pop culture personality that, well, I knew about him before he was like this success that, or this fame that he got. But I lived through it, and I like it when I can get in touch with my contemporary pop culture references. But yeah, The Secret History, it was written in 1992. I mean, it was published in 1992. Of course, I went and saw a bunch of interviews to Donna Tartt, and I love her so much, and I feel so connected to her by this, and I'm so fascinated, and it gives me so much joie de vivre, even though the fucking plot is horrific, right? But yeah, well, that's not the point. That's beyond the point. Yeah, so I am going to finish reading this book, and I am going to make a proper review of it, and I am going to, probably buy the book, because I am reading it on a PDF, because I'm on this path where I'm not buying books anymore, not because I don't want to buy them. I'm pro buying all the books that you want, and making a huge library and keeping them. But the problem is that I'm mean, I'm not living at home, so if I have to take all my books, it's going to be very costly. So I don't want to buy books. I'm gonna, yeah, but whatever, who cares about that? So yeah, drama, like drama, the fucking drama, tragedy and drama and the classics, and it all goes back to the Greeks, and it's such an amazing idea, the humanities. Because I remember when I was like this young person that was super interested in truth and epistemology. Of course, you are completely and absolutely in awe of science, because science is such an impersonal, amazing method, so you kind of disregard, I guess, the humanities for a period of time when you are learning. I did my bachelor's degree in physics, but of course that was not my intellectual birthplace, because the first time I fell in love with knowledge was, why am I crying? I remember having a deep connection with encyclopedias that I had at home and in my grandfather's house, which he had, and talking about with my dad about World War II when I was like 12 for hours. I don't know, I think that feeling is what I have. It comes back to me. So I don't know why. And I love it that it's always about like coming of age stories, or stories about teenagers. And Donna Tartt said, of course, because teenagers have their it's such a time for discovery, for forming, for so it's very adventurous. And for a person, I always say that I love being like a retiree. I don't like traveling. I really don't enjoy traveling that much. I prefer staying at home. I have to push myself to get out of my house nowadays, because I think it still is important for refreshing, things sometimes. But I get very refreshed by my own brain, fortunately, because I am too in love with learning, and in the truest sense of the word, meaning it's not about doing a degree, or not even about going and sharing and being around people and whatever. It's about my own connection with the whole of humanity, and I don't see that. And I love the internet for that, and I love the fact that I can go and watch YouTube or make a video like this so that it can stay. Who am I talking to right now? I'm talking to humanity, and I don't care who listens or doesn't. And it's for me also to go back and see what I thought. And yeah, well, bye.